Having watched other videos in this series, you'll be aware that developing a medical device is a complex business. It's a business where there's many opportunities to experience pain. And we're here to try and help you avoid as many of those painful moments as we can. How would it be if you had a straightforward route to get you from here to there? What would you do armed with that? In this bite-sized video, we'll continue our exploration of the map of medical device development. Effort and costs rise significantly as you progress, whilst the risks of failure are mitigated. You go from high risk and uncertainty in the early phases through to a defined risk profile. This time, we're taking a look at the third of 4 phases that every project goes through: industrialize. At some point, you'll take your device design forward to production. That transfer is what this stop is all about. In reality, it starts at an early stage in development, but comes to its conclusion at this point in your journey. It takes your design outputs and turns them into a product. That's why you will have involved people from production since project definition. We spoke about issue resolution earlier. The principles continue to apply throughout your project. It's no good testing devices without using a documented method. How else can you have confidence in the results? This step is about creating, refining, and validating test methods, which could be for incoming materials, in-process checks, or release testing of your product. When you're putting in new or changed equipment, its installation needs to be qualified to confirm that what you've put in is actually what you wanted it to be. Then you'll confirm that this new or changed equipment functions as you want it to. Going a step further, you need to demonstrate that the process that uses this equipment works as you expected it to. Then you check that this process really does perform as you wanted it to, over time, consistently, and reliably. All of these activities are wrapped up in validation reporting, which concludes whether you have made the right device. Supplier quality builds upon the purchasing controls and supplier evaluation activities we discussed earlier, to ensure that you continue to be able to produce devices that are safe and effective in use. And from here on, we rejoin the other track as your product moves towards launch. Design verification answers the question, have I built my device right? Does it meet specification? Design validation, however, answers a different question. Have I built the right device? Does it meet the user's needs and intended use I set out to fulfill? And can it meet these needs consistently? At some point, you'll want to take your device design forward to production. That transfer is what this stop is all about. Now, it starts early in development but comes to conclusion at this point, where you convert design outputs into production specifications. From the stop on your journey where you decide to start design controls, you'll need to identify, document, assess, and manage design changes, usually following a procedure. Your brand is the part of your company that the outside world sees. People buy into that brand and recognise it, so it may well make sense to protect both it and your medical device from others attempting to either undermine it or pass their products off as yours. Design verification answers the question, have I built my device right? Does it meet specification? Design validation, however, answers a different question, have I built the right device? Does it meet the user's needs and intended use I set out to fulfill? And can it meet these needs consistently? At some point, you'll want to take your device design forward to production. That transfer is what this stop is all about. Now, it starts early in development but comes to conclusion at this point, where you convert design outputs into production specifications. From the stop on your journey where you decide to start design controls, you'll need to identify, document, assess, and manage design changes, usually following a procedure. Design validation. Confirm that user needs have been met and the device is safe and effective in use. Basically, Have I built the right device? Your HF summary report assures regulatory authorities that you've conducted an effective human factors program. It tells the story of how you understood users' needs and created a device that addressed them. Once it looks like the mitigations are effective, you'll want to generate test data that verifies they work. This is usually done as part of design verification and design validation stops on other tracks. Having hopefully verified that mitigations do work, update your risk analysis to reflect that. You'll need to consider whether the residual risk, that's what's left after all the mitigations, is acceptable against criteria you've put in your risk plan. This step can flag up the need to put in place more mitigations, and that's okay. The final step in development is to document what you've done in a risk management report that also concludes on the safety of your medical device. All this information helps you firm up on the most effective route to market for your product, in its launch market and for subsequent launches to build on that initial success. Developing a marketing strategy is an important part of preparing to launch your product. You'll work with key opinion leaders. Hopefully you'll have started working with them much earlier in development to support clinical activities and market assessment. The results of your clinical program are typically reported during the industrialization phase of development, leading to the production of a clinical evaluation report. This documents the fruits of your clinical evaluation, the investigations undertaken, and how their results support the safety and efficacy of your medical device. As I mentioned earlier, you'll be taking care to ensure that the medical device regulation requirements are comprehensively covered. There's a close link here with risk management reporting, particularly to support the verification of risk mitigations. As you watch this video, you'll have started to think about how you can go about addressing each of these steps properly, making the best of each part of your journey. You may now want to get some guidance to turn your thoughts into concrete actions. Now that we're coming to the close of this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, sign up to our website, or follow us on social media so you're the first to know when new content is available. Thanks for watching. Remember to send us your feedback and comments.